Okay. Oh, whoops. Sorry about that. So Mike Johnson sat down with that bastion of integrity and journalistic tenaciousness, Benny Johnson, to discuss the Epstein files.
This is sort of on the heels of something else that a lot of people are asking questions about. And because we've been lied to by our federal government for so long, I feel like there's some type of like there's a pain point, right? In the pressure cooker that gets heated up on issues like the Epstein issue, right? And obviously that's something that's taken over a lot of the online dialogue. I have a question here about it that concerns either testifying or testimony for Ghislaine Maxwell, potentially before Congress, or if you would support members like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Anna Paulina Luna on the release of subpoenaing the Epstein documents from the DOJ, whether you would support either of those.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Marjorie or Anna about that specific subject, but I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. Look, Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him. I mean, he put together a team of his choosing, and they're doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that. But I
we
agree
know
with
you
the
haven't been
sentiment that
involved.
we need to put it out there. And
we know you're not on the list. Don't worry.
Pam Bondi, I don't know.
You're definitely
when
not
she
the
originally
type.
made the statement. I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it. They were on her desk.
I tried to go to the island. Jeff told me he was just going on the plane for some smokes, and they left me there on the runway. So, but I think that was Jesus protecting me.
Desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody. I like Pam. I mean, I think she's done a good job. We need the DOJ focusing on the major priorities. So let's get this thing resolved so that they can deal with violent crime and public safety and election integrity and going after Act Blue and the things that the president is most concerned about, as we are. So I'm anxious to get this behind us.
Now, that is what you call saying something to please everyone and saying absolutely nothing at the same time. Actions speak louder than words. So Speaker Mike Johnson and other Republicans break with Trump on Epstein, but only rhetorically, based on the voting. Johnson's interview was released Tuesday afternoon, moments after Democrats nearly won a significant victory on the House floor that would have forced the Trump administration to release the Epstein files. If Republicans had not blocked the procedural motion, they would have been forced to vote on a measure to release the Epstein files, sponsored by Representative Ro Khanna and supported by House Democratic leadership. Majority Whip Tom Emmer and his team were seen working to convince holdouts from the ultra-conservative House Freedom Caucus, who appeared willing to join with Democrats to approve the Khanna resolution, which would have required the Justice Department to preserve and release all documents related to Epstein. Representative Andrew Clyde, Republican of Georgia, was seen yelling at Emmer's floor director before voting to block the resolution. Representative Andy Biggs chose not to cast a vote after Emmer spent minutes talking to him. I hear in the Senate, they call what could happen to you if you vote the wrong way a wellstone.
Right.
They're going to wellstone you. GOP leaders immediately closed the vote after they notched enough GOP support to block the resolution from moving forward, prompting Representative Becca Balint to yell towards Republicans, as a Democrat from Vermont, "Come on, we need the files." Now, as many have pointed out, they weren't yelling that at Biden, right? They weren't yelling, "We need the files released." They had those files then. Some people have pointed out, and I don't think it's a crazy theory if you want to talk conspiracy, why is it they have just enough votes to block it? Are the Democrats really looking to release these files, or are they all really just manipulating us into thinking there's a contest here? It's a good question and a fair one. Democrats clearly see the opening and are using the little power they have in the congressional minority to try to exert influence. And in the meantime, they are putting GOP colleagues in a tough spot, forced to vote on the record against releasing files they have long demanded, while they have yet to launch their own investigations into the matter. Surprisingly sharp for the Washington Post. So here's Mr. Charisma, Hakeem Jeffries, trying to make some hay of this issue.
Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last several years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. The American people deserve to know the truth. What, if anything, is the Trump administration and the Department of Justice hiding? What are you hiding? If you're not hiding anything, prove that to the American people. And if you are trying to hide something, as many of Donald Trump's MAGA supporters apparently believe, then the Congress should actually work hard to try to uncover the truth for the American people.
That was, I like the way you said that, Hakeem. And if it ever comes to a day that that bill might actually pass, you may have an accident with a barbell. So
Yeah, right.
I'd advise you make sure it keeps failing by one vote. Other Democrats have chosen trolling and theatrics as a tactic. The Democratic National Committee created an X account asking, "Has Trump released the Epstein files?" Each day it posts no. House Majority PAC, the fundraising arm for House Democrats, immediately launched the GOP Epstein Simps target list, targeting politically vulnerable Republicans on social media who supported blocking Khanna's measure, despite having previously called for the release of the Epstein files. Here, Mike Nellis responds to Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace here says, all child assaulters should get the death penalty. And he quote tweeted her, "You voted against releasing the Epstein list about an hour ago." Yeah, fair enough. But it's also fair to point out, so if the Democrats could release the Epstein files, would they? Look at how Hakeem Jeffries phrases that. On the one hand, he doesn't want to take off the table the idea there may be something there. And on the other hand, he doesn't want to stop casting it as a kind of QAnon obsession that came to bite them in the ass, because I have no doubt that there's a lot of stuff certainly about Bill Clinton in there, and a lot of other Democrats and Democrat-aligned people and funders, just as there are a lot of people on the other side. That's why I don't think, unless someone pulls a Snowden, you're ever seeing these files. You know, maybe after everyone's dead, but given the precedent with the JFK files, probably not even then.
Yeah, it's going to take a very, very long time. You notice when he mentioned the second time, first time he referred to the MAGA extremists spreading the conspiracy theory, and the second time he kind of paused and he says, Trump supporters who want the Epstein files, because he knows that the pool of voters who want the Epstein files released is actually much broader than just the quote unquote MAGA extremists who are his usual sort of punching bag. Right. So he has to kind of be careful about how he couches that.
But they're used to talking about it that way.
They are. Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, especially to their base. Now, on the Democrat side, the question is, do the younger Democrats just decide, you know what, I'm not in these fucking things. I'm too young to be in these things. So let the older ones deal with it, whatever the fallout is. That's one question. On the Republican side, the pickle that they are in is really tough, because they are now forced to choose between Donald Trump and their base. They never have had to do that before. With the Iran war, that was a test, but, you know, they didn't have to vote like this.
Not like this.
You know, they had the War Powers resolution, but by the time they voted on that, there was already a cooling off period, right? And that even is not what this is to the MAGA movement. This is a much, much deeper
It's
signifier.
foundational.
It's foundational, right?
And I think
think
you're
what they're-
right about the age gap, because where's Schumer?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Where's Mr.
Yeah, no, it's
no
all the younger
side
ones.
deals. No side
No,
deals.
the younger ones are the ones who are making the hay about this, like Kana and Ossoff. You know, it's all the younger ones who figure, well, I'm not in it, so whatever.
Right.
Let the older guys deal with it. On the Republican side, the dilemma is choosing between obviously Trump and the base, and it's a very difficult choice, especially at this moment, because right now, with this being the hottest story in the news, you know, tempers are very hot, right? People are very upset. And so these Republicans are having to try and predict the future as best they can. Okay, will this die down? And will we sort of reach a new stasis point where Trump is still the, revered cult leader?
Right.
Or is this a permanent wedge through the MAGA movement? They have to make their decision based on that, because if they conclude that the former is the trajectory that this is on, then they're better off just sticking with Trump and doing what he wants and riding it out with him. If this is a more permanent rift, then you're going to want to be on the anti-Trump side, right? You're going to want to be on the side of people who said, no, I voted to release the files. It's a very, very, very tough call to make at this point for these Republicans. They just are basically guessing how the future will play out. And it sounds like, it doesn't sound like, we know that for the time being, they're sticking with Daddy. They're sticking with that. 211 voted to foreclose any future amendments on the Genius Act, which is what Ro Khanna tried to use to maneuver in an amendments to release the Epstein files within 30 days. They all voted to shut that down. So far, they're not budging, but I don't know how much longer they can go, because this is obviously a nightmare.
I think this is really hardest on the grifters. You know, these guys have payments to make on their Lambos,
right?
The Benny Johnsons, the Alex Joneses. What do they do? Alex Jones, he just drops this is terrible strategy. This is I've never seen such bad strategy in 9 years. They're trying to, like, you could see Benny Johnson just wrote a long thing. Like, they're trying to figure out how they can make it clear we're with you on these Epstein files. And then they keep working in language like Donald Trump has to understand why we feel this way, as if he doesn't understand perfectly what's going on here. As if the nuances have escaped him. This is all a misunderstanding.
Yes. Yeah. It is a pretty tough bind that they're all going through right now. All right. Here, I'll pick up where these are, and then I guess you'll take the next batch. Where we got them here.
Sure.
Okay. MJ Victim says MJ had one of the most sophisticated child procurement operations, according to the lawyer representing the victims. Had a female accuser. She received $900K.
Oh, yeah?
Interesting. David Bauer says Trump's Epstein hoax is his Biden 2024 debate moments. Yeah, well put. Tiberius Monk says this is a reminder that Trump's colossal failures this year will never make the Democrats any better. Screw them all and the two-party duopoly now. Good theory, Keaton, says Sparky, but it's not just a big, beautiful bill. You forgot President Trump delivered an over $1 trillion military budget to be spent on various F-35 boondoggles. Yep, good point. I mean, they got what they wanted from him, so it's possible they just shivved him. That could be possible. MJ allegations have been debunked countless times, says Christopher Dillon. Oh boy, we're gonna get a super chat debate going here. Countless times and fall apart under even the most basic investigation. He never settled. It was his insurance companies that would settle his wishes. Wake up. All right, thank you, Christopher.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That documentary was pretty convincing.
Oh, you saw the documentary?
I
what was it? Finding Neverland? I'm kidding.
Finding Neverland. No, yeah, that's what it was called.
No, Finding Neverland was the Johnny Depp movie.
Wasn't it called Finding Neverland?
Finding Neverland was the Johnny Depp movie about Peter
What was
Pan.
the documentary called?
I don't know. Welcome to Neverland.
MJ diddling the tits.
I don't know. Somebody, Welcome to Neverland.
Was it called that?
I don't know. I just thought Finding Neverland was funny. Jimmy, get Catherine Austin. That's revenge for the pedophile joke you made earlier that I didn't get. Jimmy, get Catherine Austin Fitz on again to talk about stablecoin and the Genius Act. She was a great guest. I watched that interview. It was a great interview. MJ Victims, do you like people like Wacko Kando is there to make every criticism of Israel seem unhinged because of her style of criticism? You mean Owens? I mean, I'm not offended by what Owen said. I don't think she's I don't think she's an anti-Semite, at least not to the extent I could blame her. Django Blackfire, thanks for the $4.99. Great job, y'all. Can you guys please talk to Nerdrotic? He keeps falsely saying that George Floyd died of an overdose. He takes the misread autopsy.
I mean, we're not tight like that, man.
I don't know him. Who is that? Oh, that's the guy that we interviewed.
That's
okay.
That's Gary. Yeah.
Oh
Gary.
yeah. I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we have to take it up with him. All right. What else we got here? All right, let's keep moving on. All
Rock
right.
and roll.
All right, folks.